All right, so it's been a long time, but don't worry, guys. We now have issue 26 here. So without further ado, let's get on with building the Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation. And of course, in good fashion, I'm going to show you a quick snippet of what's coming in this video. So hang in there, guys. We got a lot to do. So in this video, we will be taking back this awesome, cool section here, which we have hanging up on display. So hope to see you guys all the way through. This is going to be one bumpy ride, guys. All right, guys, so here's what we got. We got some wires here that we're going to be doing. We have to separate them and put them at 90-degree angles for our two long cords here. We'll come back to this one. We have our screws, the BM, AM, some JM, and some FM screws. We got some places here that are going to hold in the lights that we're going to do, and we have our frame body, which is in this little plastic, which is nice because then it keeps it from getting all bent out of shape. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on. Right, so now that I have this all completed with everything at 90 degrees and another one here at 90 degrees, now comes that fun part where we attach them into the spots where they're going to be needed. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. The fifth one will be up here, and it'll be installed at a later date, which will be holding this one here. So hang in there, guys. It's going to be a very wild ride here, but we're going to attempt to put all these in and show it to you guys all complete. Okay, so with step B being somewhat done, because now we've got our lights in there, we'll do a light test later. I still have my screw and my other piece left over for this one. So we're going to grab some BM screws, and these BM screws are what's going to let us take these and put them into the frame. So I have my BM screws right here. We're going to bring back the saucer and screw this inside to the saucer. Once we've completed all that, we'll start going ahead and getting ready to attach our fifth one. Then we're going to start plugging them in to that little motherboard on the saucer. So if you're still hanging with us, boy, this is one bumpy ride. Okay, so as a taste of what we're going to do is we're going to take our framework here and we're just going to lay it down. There's already some preset areas that we're going to be utilizing. So don't be afraid, but we're going to just show you this real quick. I'm going to basically put my BM screws all the way down to here. Then we're going to come back with some FM screws down here at the bottom. And then an AM screw go here for our light. And then we'll start attaching everything into the motherboard down here. So hang tight, guys. All right, so now we have our FM screws put in, all of our BM screws. There should be 4 of them. And then you have a JM screw, which is a very flush screw that you're going to need here because we still have to put that paneling on the top here to cover up this frame end here, and then we still have more to cover down here. So it's going to be a wild ride when it comes to that part, but we're going to speed it up by doing all the hard work behind the scenes, so that way you guys can see the finished product. We're going to start working on our light here, which is examples here into here and where we're going to put it. Then after that, we're going to simply start plugging in where these 3 will be going onto the motherboard that's in there. All right. Then once that's done and it's all connected to the saucer section, our major thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to watch all these light up just to ensure that everything is A-OK. We still have our little blinky light down here to make up for the green light that's going to be down there. So let's get on with it, guys. Okay, and there it is, guys. It's all connected. All the lights work. So that's one good step in the right direction. So I'm very excited about that. However, it is time that we move on to our next stage. And that next stage, as I begin to turn a page here, is going to be stage 100. So stage 100, it's going to be the normal stuff, basically, and we're going to be starting to put some panels along here to fill in this area. So without further ado, let's go on and get to stage 100 finally. And there it is, guys, all of our parts that we're going to be attaching over here. And these were all the parts for stage 100. So like I said, it's going to be a little weird, but we're going to get through it, guys. We're going to get through it. We got a little light block here. We got our black ones. We got our clear windows. We got the pieces that are going to hold them in place. And finally, the last phaser strip that's going to go on board this, so we can end the phaser strip. So that's good. This will be for the underbelly, and of course our escape pods, and of course some screws that we're going to be using. So hang in there, guys, but we're going to do something really cool with you this video. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put this all together. That way you guys don't have to watch us at home, but we're going to put this all together, and we'll come back and show you guys this all completed, so we can then attach it to the sauces section. And there you have it, guys. It's all completed, good to go. Phaser strip on, all the escape pods are on, all the windows are in. We did a light block check, and so far no leaks, so that's good news right now. So without further ado, we're going to move on to our next great adventure here on this video. Okay, guys, so welcome to stage 101. It looks like we have to do yet again another big adventure of windows, and it is seemingly that somehow Fanhome has, since it's taken over the Enterprise D, has added in some strips here. So you might need these to block out some of the light. We also have some paneling for our light blocking. We have our black windows, clear windows, life pods. As you can see, there's no life pods on this piece, so you know what's coming up next, guys. And if you hang in there, we'll be able to show it to you. This video is just basically coming along pretty nice, guys, and I hope you're enjoying it. So as you can see here, guys, this is going to be step A, and step A is such a long process that we're not going to show you yet again. Now, if you've watched all of our videos thus far, you know how tedious this can be, and we've been able to block out you having to watch me put every individual window in, and then put the paneling in, and all the lighting in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to show you the finished product of how all this is going to look, and then we'll be able then to show you our next adventure, which will be to then install this to the saucer section. All right, so here's everything already done. It only allows us to put 3 screws here and then leave these empty, because we're going to bring back our saucer section, and then we're going to attach the lights through here, because they want us to basically plug in the lights previous to us mounting it onto the saucer. So without further ado, here's a glimpse of what I'm talking about. As you can see, we're going to connect them in these little spots, and then we're going to connect them in here, with also getting them down to a angle here of almost like a 90-degree angle. And then once that's done, we fold it over, and we'll be able to screw this in to the I don't know, I'm like a loss of words, into the saucer section. Of course, we'll turn the page so you can kind of get a glimpse of where we're going with everything. And where we're going with everything is to basically attach these two together, to then later putting them onto here, and then we're going to go to our surprised event, which is going to be really epic, is hopefully finishing the bottom half of our battle section windows and everything. Okay, so we've connected all the wires inside. We have all of our loose lights here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to follow the instructions. Now, these 3 down here are going to go into these 3, and this one will be going into the top half. Then after that, we're going to screw these in, and once we screw all these 4 screws in, we'll then be able to place it in here and move on to our next adventure. Okay, and there we have it, guys. It's all connected. You can see it's all connected through here. I have all the lights on. You can't see it with all the lights that I have going on right now, but We've already done a light test and there is no light leaks. So if we turn off at least one, you can see how it is kind of lit up pretty nicely. So we're moving along pretty good. But we do have still a few more things to do in this video. So hang in there, guys, because we're going to bring back an old classic piece from one of our old other episodes. Okay, guys, this is going to be a little tricky, right? But we remember how hard it was on this side, and so we're going to work on this side. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our clear piece that has all the windows already done up, and we're going to go ahead and take them and attach them to here. Once we do that, then we're going to grab all this, okay, and we're going to attach that. Then once we do that, we have to attach these leftover lights that we had from our previous ones, and we're going to put all that together, guys. And as you can see, I have our saucer section right over here ready to go for our great adventure, but we're not going to be using that. So we're just going to focus on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to not bore you by putting all this in, because I think that's kind of, kind of a dull thing for me to do. But we already know this will go here, and then I'll place on our clear. And don't forget now, we still have to put in our escape pod over here, okay? And there is a little strategic way that you have to set this up, and we'll cover that here in a few seconds. Okay, so we've got it all done. Now, in the book, it says that I have to separate these wires by going one way. I've done it a different way. I've had it go around the screw hole. The only reason why I did that is because it seemed easier, because two cords, then there'd be a bulge, and I didn't want that. So that's how we're going to do that stuff. I thought it would be a lot easier that way. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to show you how I did it by just going around like so, and just going around it. All right, because going around it, it makes it easier when you have to go and screw everything in, and then you just have the cables go over it. Because once you put two, they kind of just, they kind of just look goofy, and they go higher than the actual screw hole, and I don't want that. So I just wanted to make it easier for me. Other than that, we're going to move on now to our next adventure here, and it's going to be a little tricky, but I think we're going to be all right, because we're going to work on this little panel piece. So let's get on. Getting on with this panel piece, we have some escape pods that we're going to need to put in. Now, these escape pods, just remember, the red dot has to be facing outward, much like what we did with our panel over here. These all have to be facing outward. It's totally weird. I don't know why. I would assume it'd be the other way, but maybe on the ship it's something else on the inside of the ship that I don't know about. But that's what we're going to do here, guys. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to put in these escape pods. There's a total of 8 that we're going to put in. So I have some here, and then I have some here. So we're going to go ahead, use those, and we'll be right back showing you the finished product on that. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to let you know that I put in all the 8, and they're all facing the right way. However, now we bring back our illustrious piece here, and there's a little note that you might want to use, okay, is it's going to tell you that before fitting the bulbs in this step, where we're going to be fitting in the bulbs that are going to need to go in here, which are going to be these, okay, before you fit these bulbs in, it tells you that you may find it easier to secure 2 outermost BP screws first of all. So I think I'm going to try that attempt, because it's a good note. So we're going to put a BP screw here and here once we flip this in. And then once we do that, then we're going to go ahead and put our lights in. And then once we put these lights in, hopefully we can get some light testing done at some point, so I know that all these lights will be working. But for now, let's go ahead and connect these two wonderful pieces here. Okay, so with all this completed, I'm going to move some tools around. With all this completed, I figured I'd flip this over just to see what the other side looks like. And look at that. That looks pretty sharp, guys. I'm actually impressed that it's all sealed up and nice and snug right here along this seam. You really can't see any blemishes or anything like that. We still have our hole for everything to mount, our insignia that's here with the pinstriping, so that's good. We know that the phaser strip is going to come on here, so eventually I'm going to have to move some cables around because we got to bring back that lower half at some point to connect this on, which I'm hoping is in our next stage or our next step. Alrighty guys, and so here we are on stage 102. That was it on stage 101. So now we're on stage 102, and this is where it looks like we're going to be putting some batteries into this compartment and attaching it somewhere. Don't know where, but we're going to get to that here. We also have our panel, which is going to go on over to our saucer section. And then we have all of our screws, all of our life pods or lifeboats or escape boats, whatever you want to call them by at this point. And then we have an edge piece that's going to go along with our saucer section, our panel that's going to black out our escape pods or whatever you may want to call them. We also have our escape pod cap, which will go there. So without further ado, we're going to get on with it and see what's going on. Also, a little tidbit for you. The batteries are not included when this ships to you, so you will have to go out and purchase your own. So I went out already and I purchased my own. So you're going to need a special kind of battery, and that's going to be the CR2032 battery. You will only need two of them, um, and then you'll place them inside the battery box. But we'll cover that once we get to this stage. Other than that, let's continue on because we are about to end this video here soon. So real quick, a little snippet of what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and do like we did all the other videos. I'm going to go ahead, put on our escape pods, then put our blanket on, then put this piece and attach it here at the bottom half. We'll then light block everything and make it look really sharp. So here it is all completed, and now is the great adventure of placing it onto the saucer section. And then later on, once it's secured and the lights have been checked and there's no light leaks going into this panel, we then will place on our escape pod that's going to get plugged in. Alrighty, so let me do that real quick. And look at that, guys. It looks pretty sharp. I have it all put in. There's no light leaks, as you can see here, which is a phenomenally great thing to have. So I'm just going to show you that we're going to go ahead and plug this in, which means that we are done with this panel. And I'm going to tell you that these are not that easy to put in. All right, but we've gone ahead, we've plugged that in. I'm going to go back, fix that, and we're going to move on to our next part. All right, guys, and here it is, our big little piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over. As you can see, we have our deflector dish all set up and nice and cozy in there. Our phaser strip is already there. However, we will be working this whole section here. All right, so it's pretty much this whole section. Okay, so what we're going to do is we just take our silver nut. All right, we're going to put it in there, and then we have our cap. Our cap is pretty easy. It's going to go right on top, just like so. Okay, now the silver screw comes by later, and what we're going to do is we're going to take two of these AP screws. We're going to put them in there, and then after that we're going to get ready to place it onto our battle section of the ship. And there you have it. It's all done and good to go. Other than that, just to let you know, there is a on and off switch that we do have here, and our plug to get it into that motherboard that's on the battle section of the Enterprise. Now, like I said before, there are no batteries included with this package, as you can see, and we have our own CR2032 batteries. There's two of them. They'll go right inside here. Once that's pretty much done, we're going to go ahead and put this, for now, we're going to put it onto the battle section. So first things first, I had to plug it in. So I found the port and I plugged it into that motherboard. Our next adventure now will lie with basically placing it into place. So this will be quite the adventure. All right, so I've separated the two just like so. And the reason why I did that is to just make things easier for me. All right, now in the book it does have this on this side, but I just separated the two nice and even. However, when you place it in, it's going to go in kind of like so. So I'm not sure how this is all going to line up, but according to the way things look on the book, it's supposed to go in like this. I don't see that happening, but we'll see. There is no screwing in just yet, anyway, but it's gonna go right here. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go off, grab the two batteries, put them in, and seal this shut. And then we're gonna see the magic where things start to light up here on this second. All right. So it is on, and everything is lit up. So what we're gonna do is, this is with studio lighting on, so we're gonna let you see it with all that glory. You can see the blinky lights that I have, pretty much secured in place there. So I'm gonna go ahead, flip this over, and here you can tell that like you can barely see it. So I'm gonna turn off one of these lights, and there you have it. You can see how it is kind of lit up. You can then see how our deflector dish is looking. Not too bright, which is not too bad, because we want to see it looking pretty snazzy, right? I want it to be nice and even, not too brightish anyway. So that's not too bad. All right, we then go up here. I'll give you a quick little looky there. All right, so that looks pretty promising there, guys. How the lighting fits on this secondary hull. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Okay, so our next great adventure here is, of course, to place on our panel. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. And that's going to be very tricky, okay, because you don't want the wires to bunch in over here. You don't want them to bunch in going across this thing. They have to kind of go inside the frame and then attach into here. So I'm going to make an attempt here to get it so you guys can see how I'm going to attach the wires in. Okay, so this is as far as I've gotten with the wiring. I'm going to tell you, the wiring on this is ridiculous. All right, it's mind-boggling. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick little look here on how the lights look. So we're going to take off a little bit of these lights here to let you see how it looks with the lights. Now I am working on these little yellow orangey things that are supposed to go on the side of the ship, but I couldn't wait to show you guys how it's gonna look in the dark. That looks pretty snazzy, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. All right, looks pretty good so far with all that. Pretty soon we'll be putting that neck on. I can't wait for that, but there it is, guys. There it is, all that blazing glory right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to struggle with these yellow pieces and see what happens. Okay, so what I did was I managed to get the wires to fit in there nice and neat, so I can take everything and smush it on down and get it in there. It's very tricky, so you got to keep fighting with these wires as you go along. It's a pain in the ass, guys, but that's okay. But you're going to be putting DP screws all along here, as you go along. So without boring you and watching me do the struggling, we're just going to go ahead and put it together. I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so really quick, the DP screws are here, 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 here. The rest are all CM screws going along here. I got all the wires done up and locked into place. So what we're going to do is move on to our next step. So hang in there, guys. Well, so this is what we've completed so far on our stuff. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to light this up just like that. I'll start a little light right there. This is what we have accomplished so far in our little video. We've accomplished all this, and we accomplished the uh, dish and everything, and getting all that out, and making sure that there's no light leaks. Everything came out pretty snazzy, pretty good. So, what our next step is to move on to issue 27. So I think everything came on pretty good. I thought there'd be a little bit more of a light leak through here. Turns out there was not. There's a little gap here. I'm gonna just call that as a little minor glitch in putting everything together, but I'm willing to deal with that. And then we have another little bit on the other side, so it's kind of even, but I'm pretty sure I can find a way to block that later on. So that's not bad. I think it's pretty cool. Thus far, everything has come out pretty good. So without further ado, I think I should let y'all go, and we'll see you on the next episode of Build the Enterprise 1701D.